Hey, hey, and welcome back to Miss Kitty's Wild West Adventures. Imagine being a child on the frontier, and suddenly your world is turned upside down because you were kidnapped by Native Americans. That's exactly the story that these four frontier children went through. They were kidnapped and raised by Native Americans, so stay tuned and listen to the tale.
One of the most well-known stories is that of Cynthia Ann Parker. In 1836, at just 9 years old, Cynthia Ann was kidnapped by the Comanche during a raid in Texas. Alongside her, 4 other captives were seized, but unlike Cynthia Ann, they were eventually released. As the years passed, Cynthia Ann became fully integrated into the Comanche way of life. By the mid-1840s, her brother, John, who had been captured and released, attempted to persuade her to return to their family, but Cynthia Ann refused. She had fallen in love with her new family. Later on, a man by the name of Williams came to trade with the Comanches and offered to trade for the release of Cynthia Ann. Tribal elders refused to let her go, and she said nothing to the trader to allude that she even wanted to leave. By 1848, Cynthia Ann was happily married to Pita Nakona and had 3 children, including Quanah Parker, who would later become one of the most influential Comanche leaders. But in 1860, Cynthia Ann's life took another dramatic turn. Her tribe was attacked by Texas Rangers, led by Lawrence Sullivan Ross. When they found Cynthia Ann, now a mother, they forcibly returned her to her biological family. Despite being granted land and a pension, she never adjusted to life among the whites and made several attempts to return to her Comanche family. Cynthia Ann's sorrow was profound. After losing her husband, she reportedly starved herself to death. Some records suggest she died in 1864, while others point to 1870. Her final resting place was moved several times, with her son, Quanah, ensuring her burial alongside him at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Herman Lehmann's story is another tale of a child kidnapped and raised by Native Americans. Born on June 5, 1859, Herman was taken by the Apache at just 10 years old. Unlike his brother Willie, who escaped, Herman remained with the tribe and earned the name Ed Da, meaning Pale Boy. Herman became a respected warrior and was even made a petty chief for his bravery. However, after killing a medicine man who had murdered his adoptive father, Herman fled to the wilderness, eventually joining the Comanche tribe, where he became known as Montechina. He was eventually adopted by Quanah Parker, Cynthia Ann's son. In 1878, after years of living as a Native American, Herman was forced to return to his Texas family. Though he struggled to adjust, he later settled near Grandfield, Oklahoma, where he lived until his death in 1932. The story of Olive Oatman is perhaps one of the most haunting. In 1851, while emigrating from Illinois, Olive's family was attacked by a Native American tribe near Yuma, Arizona. Only Olive, her sister Mary Ann, and her brother Lorenzo survived the brutal attack. Olive and Mary Ann were held as slaves and treated very poorly by the Yavapai for a year before being traded to the Mojave. Though her sister tragically died from starvation, Olive was integrated into the tribe, receiving traditional tattoos and a Mojave name. Yet, rumors of a white girl living among the Mojave eventually led to her rescue. In 1856, Olive was returned to Fort Yuma. Despite her ordeal, she claimed that the Mojave never mistreated her. In fact, her famous tattooed chin is evidence that she was treated as a member of the Mojave family. According to Mojave beliefs, the face is tattooed in order to be recognized in the afterlife as one of their own. Olive's story captured the public's imagination, and she went on to live a quiet life, eventually marrying and settling in Texas. Olive Oatman's experience with the Mojave tribe remains a subject of debate and mystery. Her Mojave name, Spansa, has been translated both as loose woman and rotten womb. Some suggest the former could imply that Olive may have faced sexual violence during her captivity. However, others speculate that rotten womb might refer to her inability to have children, a theory supported by the fact that Olive and her husband never had children of their own. The true meaning of her Mojave name remains uncertain, leaving her story open to interpretation. Our final story is that of Adolph Korn, kidnapped by an Apache raiding party on New Year's Day in 1870. Adolph, just 11 years old, was traded to the Comanche, where he quickly became one of their fiercest warriors. Forcibly returned to his family after 3 years, Adolph struggled to reintegrate into white society. He spent his final years in a cave, far removed from his former life. Adolf Korn died in 1900, a man caught between two worlds.
The stories of Cynthia Ann Parker, Herman Lehmann, Olive Oatman, and Adolph Korn remind us of the complexities of identity, the bonds of family, both biological and adoptive, and the lasting impact of these cultural collisions. Their lives, forever shaped by their time with the Native Americans, remain a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. So what do you think? Could you imagine taking on a brand new identity in life with an adoptive family that is so different than your own culture? Leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Miss Kitty's Wild West Adventures. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ding the bell for notifications. And in the meantime, I'll catch you on down the trail.